Hello everyone and welcome to the second race of the 360 Winged Sprint Cars here on Hammerdown TV. I am Gary Weaver, and of course again the 360 Winged Sprint Cars take on Knoxville for this week. Qualifying of course is underway, and we have looks to be 43 drivers setting lap times, and of those 43, 36 have already set a current lap time as of right now. Fastest on the board is the 17 of David Heilemann, as looks like Matthew Williams, Tyler Reed, I'm seeing also Matt Dial, many drivers saying in lap times over here on the scoring side that I have set up. So this is going to be once again another very interesting race. Last week it was absolutely incredibly insanely exciting to watch, and I believe tonight's race is also again another 40 laps. So those 200 is just to account for the cautions that we may or may not have for this race. So qualifying is pretty much about wrapped up, and we are about to head into the first heat of the night. 8 laps, top two advance to the feature for tonight, and it's going to be again a interesting night. The only time where we will not have an 8-lap short race, if you will, is during, if we do make it to the D main, C main, and B main. Those for as of right now are scheduled for 1 lap. That's going to be quite interesting. Meanwhile, heat number 1 is about to get underway, so that grid is up on the front straightaway right now, as we have 10 drivers starting heat number 1. First place, front row, will be David Heilemann, and then Stefan Calavoda starts to his outside in the second place position. Third place goes to John M. Lepresto. Fourth place goes to Zachary Phelan. Fifth place, Ryan Martin. Sixth place, Garrett Nybereg. Still mispronounce that name. Garrett N. in this case. Garrett Papayat starts in the 7th place position. John Coots starts 8th. 9th, Matthew Grabelny, and Tyler Reed rounds out the 10-car heat race here tonight. We'd like to thank everyone for joining in and watching tonight's race. Pace Truck will not be pulling off just yet. It has to take one more lap around, as per usual dirt racing. Always 2 pace laps. So the 17 of David Heilemann will be bringing the field to the green once this pace truck pulls off to its safety of pit road, and that's going to happen in just a few moments. Race number 2 and heat 1 will be starting for the second week. First heat race of this second race, and 17 is already down in the way, so it's going to be side by side for second place. John Lepresto already well ahead. Small slide job, almost contact for third place between Calavoda and what appears to be the 024 of Ryan Martin, as he will be falling back ever so slightly, and everyone's already single filed out for the most part, aside from a brewing battle for second. Glance to the outside was that 710 of Calavoda, just on top of that back bumper bar of Lepresto, and a little bit of a wobble from that 710 off turn number 2, but he's doing just fine. Meanwhile, just behind him is going to be that 49 of Zachary Phelan, trying to do whatever he can to catch up, but right now it's just that battle for second place. The leader of David Heilemann, 17, he's already up in the way, making his own gap. So that means 5 laps to go and 5 more laps for either Lepresto or Calavoda to get to second place. Lavoda looking to the inside lane on that worn-in part of the racetrack. Not as much momentum down there as of yet, but he's doing an amazing job right now. Just behind, it looks like the 49 got into the outside wall ever so slightly exiting turn number 2, but he will be A-OK. 4 laps complete, 4 laps remaining here at Knoxville. And contact, around goes the 49 off turn number 4, in turn number 4. Just a little bit of a slide job gone wrong, unfortunately. No cautions here in these heat races. So that's going to put the 49, looks like he will pull it into pit road, unfortunately, and just wait until his next chance. But right now the field essentially is doing just fine, very spread out. 2 laps to go, less than that, as Heilemann has already pulled away. 2 more, less than a lap eventually for Stephen Calavoda to get up to second place if he can. Final lap for 17 of David Heilemann, however, and he is pretty much safe at this point. So onto the back straightaway he comes, and it looks like no chance for that number 710 to get up to second place. Through turns 3 and 4 come the 17 and the 63. David Heilemann and John Lepresto advance to the feature. Very essentially relatively calm heat 1 for the most part. Heat number 2 is going to be up next in just a few moments time, as right now they are starting to grid. Top 10 will be, and the only 10 of course will be at the 3 of Lewis Hewitt, the 00 of Timothy Smith rounding out the front row positions number 1 and 2. Nathan Davis in the 36 starts in 3rd. Dakota Kahn starts 4th. 5th, Jeremy Zarfos. 6th, Devin Johnson. 7th, Terry E. Landis. 8th goes to Matt Dial. 9th will be Sean Bowers. And running up the top 10 is going to be Colin Penn. Only 3 drivers in overall qualifying did not take a lap time, so that may come back to bite them, but of course it also could be used as a strategy as the pace truck rolls off here for the first of 2 pace laps for heat number 2. So as of right now, we could be having at least 17 drivers in the feature race. That's as of right now. Could be changed, however, and I may be completely incorrect on that. But nonetheless, though, Lewis Hewitt will be bringing the field to the green already, getting a little bit faster. Pace truck pulls off. That number 3 waits a little bit. Now he goes in the loud pedal. Green flag is out. And already a side-by-side battle for 3rd place underway. Nathan Davis trying to get under the 00 of Smith. It will not work, however. So now he will be forced to fall back and shoved back, almost squeezing through to the outside was that 51 of Zarfos. And heavy into the inside wall. Somebody is in the back. That may be the 83 of Devin Johnson, and it is. But meanwhile, battle for 3rd, however. Zarfos trying to do whatever he can to advance position to get up to 2nd. Top 3 relatively single file, or relatively at the very same distance, almost a little bit of contact, and there it is. Nathan Davis goes around heavy into the inside wall. Somebody else is involved. That's the 107 of Matt Dial. No cautions, of course, in these heat races, so it's just a sprint to the finish, essentially. So Dakota Kahn now is in line for a transfer spot if he can get up to the 2nd place position. Timothy Smith and Lewis Hewitt 2nd and 1st respectively. as of the time being. This time by 4 laps complete, 4 laps to go, halfway, as per usual for these 8-lap heat races. Dakota Khan may be laying back for now. He does use a lower line, entering turns 1 and 2, however. That distance has already dropped back, or at least increased, between third and second for the time being, so we may have your top 2 set as of right now. But of course, 2 more laps, and next thing you know, the most unexpected thing could happen. So you can't really expect what you think could happen, but that's just something that we'll have to find out in the time being. This time by 1 lap to go for the number 3 of Lewis Hewitt and the 00 of Timothy Smith. Again, both are still in line for a transfer spot. Top 2 advance to the feature. We may have 8 advance to the feature after the 4 heat races. This is the second of 4. Through turns 3 and 4 come the 3 and the 00. Lewis Hewitt and Timothy Smith will advance to the feature. Another calm finish for 2 heat races in a row. Very, very spread out field throughout both of these heat races, so we may be seeing that for these final 2 heats here tonight. Heat number 3 is about to start in just a few moments, so your top 10 in this heat, and of course the entire grid, is the 005 of Braden Eiler starting in first place. Brett Wheeler in the 56 starts to his outside in second place. Row 2 holds Tommy Rowe and Michael Sheridan in third and fourth respectively. Ryan Broderick and Dustin Helms are 5th and 6th. 7th and 8th are Stephen E. Pierce and Andy Patton. Jason Reed and Richard Stallings are 9th and 10th on the final row, rounding out this field for the heat tonight. So just in case anyone is looking forward to next week's race, next week we head to Eldora for the 360 sprint cars, and I believe we are off the week after that on the 5th of September. Although I do believe there is a Labor Day race that is hosted by VLN. $1,500 to win in the Super Late Models over, I believe, at this track, actually, at Lima Land. And that's something to look forward to. But right now, for heat number 3, Braden Eiler begins on the lap house, steps on it, and now second place. Looks like essentially what could be for the lead. Brett Wheeler completely just slides it in there with no pressure out back for the time being, but Sheridan in that 15 as the 40 gets shoved way back. Tommy Rowe having some complications on the start. Not too great for the time being, but still managing to hang on as of right now. Brett Wheeler slides it to the inside, try to get to the inside door of the 005. Couldn't make it happen. Sheridan, the 15, is again also the closest person to get to at least second place for a transfer spot, just right on top of that back bumper. Can't get it done, however, as of right now, but look at that line that he takes, just right behind that 56. Slides it in there and almost makes contact with him. Some of these drivers not very sideways, or slideways if you will, but very, very calm and spread out. So again, about the same distance between your top 3, just like the last heat race. 56 of Wheeler tried to get it to the inside of Eiler. Couldn't get it done in turns 1 and 2. He's going to try again and still couldn't really get close to him. He got close, just no momentum on the inside lane. It's not worn enough yet, just like we've seen at Williams Grove last week. People tried to use the inside lane. It wasn't really worn in until the feature started. Wheeler trying again, maybe a slide job attempt. No, it's just door to door through turns 3 and 4. 2 laps to go. Wheeler is really trying to get to that first place position. And he's going to lose that momentum, unfortunately, so that could give the second place position to the 15. At least a challenge is possible as the 56 of Wheeler slides it in. That battle for second will definitely be ongoing. Final lap here for the 005, but meanwhile to the inside goes the 15 of Sheridan. Couldn't get it done in turns 1 and 2. He may have one more shot if he can find the correct line of momentum, but it doesn't look like it for the time being. That means coming out of turn number 4, the 005 and the 56, Braden Eiler and Brett Wheeler will also advance to the feature for heat number 3. Of course, these have been these heat races, and of course this entire series is brought to you by Evil One Graphics, VLR, and of course Hammer Down That TV, which of course is what you're watching right now, providing you this very exciting action here at Knoxville. Final heat for this night, or for the evening, I should say, as we have Randall Carter and Anthony Lepresto rounding out, starting in positions number 1 and 2. Scott Bellum and Kevin Griff start 3rd and 4th. Matthew Williams and David Flick 5th and 6th, respectively. Brad Hazard and Eric Spencer start 7th and 8th. Hunter Connelly and Richard Swavely start 9th and 10th. So after this heat race, we are scheduled to have a D main race for 1 lap, a C main race for 1 lap, and a B main race also for 1 lap. So the top 4 of the D main advance to the C main, and the top 4 of the C main advance to the B main, and the first driver, basically the first place winner of the B main, advances to the feature race. That's as of right now, however, and of course it is subject to change. Pace truck is getting ready to pull off in just a few moments, and we will have Randall Carter bringing the field to the green. Pace truck getting ready to pull off to its safety at pit road. There it goes. Carter waits a little bit, has a field stack up on the outside. Green flag is out, and caught off guard was the 157 of Lepresto. Look at that slide job he gets. Crossover from the 37, and to the inside, almost makes contact. It's going to be the 43 of Kevin Griff, as he goes to the inside for that second place transfer spot. Contact around go both of those drivers. No, they don't. They save it. Squeezing by on the outside is going to be the 717 of Scott Bellum, but still fighting back on the inside of both the 43 and the 157. Now side by side for second between the 717 and the 157. Goodness gracious, Scott Bellum with a small slide job, forces that 17 to the outside, 157 rather, and both going to the outside wall of turn number 4. That's going to leave the 43 of Kevin Griff in the second place position for the transfer spot. Goodness, what an exciting first 3 laps, almost 4. And just like that, everybody was all single filed out, just like it hasn't even happened. And throughout all of this, Randall Carter's just been pulling away while everybody's been battling for that second place position. What a wild start, as we're just now coming to halfway in this heat race. Anthony Lepresto may have the momentum, however. I'm looking at their lap times as of the start-finish line. So this time by was a 17.565 from Kevin Griff, and a 17.324. Lepresto is 0.2 faster. So this time by will be 3 laps to go, 3 more laps for that 43 to hold off that 157 of Lepresto. But that 157 dives it to the inside. That's where he's been best. Crossover from the 43 after that slide job attempt for the 157. They almost made contact off turn number 2. And into the back bumper, almost into the back bumper, was LaPresto. And Kevin Griff may try the crossover off turn number 4. No, he won't, as the 157 slides down to protect. Both take the same line and almost makes contact with the back bumper. It's going to be Griff. And they're still battling it out, this time by a final lap. White flag for the 37, the leader of Randall Carter. He is definitely going to advance. Who will advance to second place, though? It'll be either the 157 or the 43. That's something that's going to have to be decided in turn 3 here. Coming after number 4 is going to be the 37, Randall Carter. He advances, and no dice, unfortunately, from the 43 of Kevin Griff. That means the 157 of Anthony LaPresto, after getting caught off guard on the start, will be advancing to the feature. Goodness gracious, that was an exciting heat race right there. So, as of now, we will be moving on to the C main, rather, and the top 12 of the B main will advance to the feature, as the D main has been skipped by Iracing. So 18 drivers, this is going to be a very exciting race. 18 drivers for, surprisingly enough, 1 lap will be advancing to the B main. The top 4 of this race advance. So essentially it's just a 1 lap shootout, a mad dash. Oh boy, 18 drivers. First, Tommy Rowe. And then Hunter Canelli starts in second. Third place, Garrett Papaya. Fourth, Sean Bowers. Or is that Sean Bowers, rather. And then at fifth place, Andy Patton. Sixth, positions 6 through 10. It'll be Richard Swavely, Tyler Reed, Matt Dial, Richard Stallings, and Brad Hazard. Positions 11th through 15th, the 404 of Matthew Grobelny, Devin Johnson in the 83, the 34 of Jason Reed, and the 73 of Eric Spencer, along with the 49 who did not grid. The 49 of Zachary Fountains actually decided to pull it behind the garage. So 16th will, essentially officially 15th, will be at Nathan Davis. 16th will be at Stephen E. Pierce. And then 17th will be at David Flick. This is going to be a very, very interesting mad dash, but also very exciting, as unfortunately some complications have been made while setting it up. But this is something that I've never personally seen before, a 1 lap mad dash. This is going to be quite interesting to see if these drivers either take it easy or just completely floor it into every single corner. Tommy Rowe, no doubt, has to be very, very nervous. Well, Tommy Rowe is in control of the field for this 1 lap mad dash. Most likely exciting mad dash. Pace truck will pull off to its safety of pit road, and it will definitely have to be safe over there. Never mind, that's 1 lap from now. I got excited. So, sorry about that. That's 1 more lap. So, this time by will be the pace truck pulling in. I was getting very excited here. I completely forgot 2 pace laps exist on dirt ovals here. Alright, this time by, the pace truck will be pulling off to the safety of pit road, and Tommy Rowe, well, if you have a mirror, don't even look in it, because you will not need it. And pace truck is still pacing. This is a interesting problem. Looks like we may have some complications. Pretty sure the pace truck should have pulled in by now. We'll wait. Maybe we'll pull in this time by. Oddly enough, it is an hour and 2 minutes maximum for the C main for time expiring. So we will wait to see if the pace truck will pull in this time by. Maybe it will. So pace truck hopefully pulling in this time around. It's not making a move to the inside. And it looks like we have some complications on our hands. So let's see, hoping the pace truck pulls in this time by. It still isn't making the move to the inside lane. So yeah, definitely some complications. This is an iRacing related glitch. So while everything gets sorted out, aside from this, of course, the track surface, which is something that we have not yet talked about, is more than likely going to be completely destroyed by the end of the feature, especially after 4 heat races, some C mains, and it looks like we're actually going to be running the race anyway, so never mind. Well, unofficially underway is going to be the main race, so your top 4. Nope, never mind. Everyone's just catching to the pace truck and racing around it. So it may be just a small small bug on iRacing side. So not sure what happened to iRacing, but I guess everyone will be destroying the track surface anyway. So I don't see why not. Not really sure how many laps everybody is running, but as far as I know, it should be Tommy Rowe. Nope, he's actually had to pit road. Scratch that, pulling off track. So essentially, this is just more over an a heavily extended warm-up period. Yep, so it looks like in terms of iRacing, another session may be going up to account for this small little error that we've had. Honestly, I personally have not seen this. Of course, complications do happen, and like I said, I expected the pace truck to pull off that time around, and it didn't, so stick with us for a few moments as we try to get things sorted out over here. But nonetheless, just to reiterate, just to recap, we do have David Heilemann, John M. Lepresto, the 17 and 63 for heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 and advancing is the 3 of Lewis Hewitt, the 00 of Timothy Smith. From heat race number 3, we have the 005 of Braden Aller and Brett Wheeler in the 56. And then finally, we have Randall Carter in the 37 and the 157 of Anthony Lopresto. That is from the heat races, and so far that makes 8 drivers advancing to the feature. Stick with us.
Carly, you getting in here or what? He's not in here yet. Stop watching your pornos and get in here.
And we are back here on Hammerdown TV, unfortunately from the complications from the C main and the walnut feature. Everything has been reset, and we should be going green once again here in just a few moments time. So essentially, welcome back to the 360 Winged Sprint Car Series. Of course, I am still Gary Weaver, and well, we're basically just starting this entire evening over, but of course it does give us a chance to see if anything would have happened differently, which is very rare, but also quite exciting. So practice, of course, is underway, so we do have about 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 25 seconds starting now until qualifying. I believe I called that 3:25 a bit too early, but nonetheless, we appreciate you for sticking with us through all the complications that have happened. So let's see the track state how it is during qualifying, and then just watch it completely fade away throughout all the heat races and the main races, and then completely throughout the feature. We still have a 40-lap feature, so 200 laps, of course, in the feature are for caution accommodation in the case that we do get a yellow flag. Of course, the support of everybody. Amazingly, we do have 32 drivers running, a few of which have not yet posted practice lap times as of right now. But again, it just shows the support that the series has. And of course, if you do want to join, head over to hdirl.com, as you see on your screen, and go ahead and sign up. It is absolutely amazing to watch, especially with a full turnout on basically just from the warm-up, no less. So we should be heading to practice, qualifying in a few moments time. 2 laps qualifying as per usual, so we'll see who has what in terms of qualifying time, who qualifies where, and what lap times will be set for tonight. Of course, let us know over in the chat who you expect to advance to the feature, or maybe win the feature, provided we do go through the heat races again. Still not 100% sure about that as of yet, but we will more than likely do that, as we do have qualifying going underway. So Brian Eiler currently first on the podium. Anthony Lepresto second. Third is Randall Carter, and of course that is ever changing, as All of these drivers decide to set their lap times. Brett Wheeler shoves Randall Carter out, and no, never mind. Brett Wheeler was second. Now he's back to third as Anthony Leproso goes from second to third, back up to second after setting his lap time. And now Stephen Calavota in the 710 advances to the top three, and that puts Brett Wheeler into fourth. So of course you can see all of the fastest qualifiers in the top 10 and just watch the names switch around. Of course that may be pretty much done for the time being, as a few drivers have yet to set their qualifying times for the moment. It should be about 5 more drivers. I did notice nope, never mind. Actually, they just answered that for me. I was just about to say that a driver was racing, which is Matt Williams, but Matt Williams beat me to it. So he's interacting with everybody just before he gets back into the car and goes out on track and battles to get into the feature. In terms of quite literal qualifying terms, he would be at least 18th out of, I believe, 20. Of course, subject to change are how many drivers enter the feature through iRacing as the sessions switch over. So for me, I'm seeing heat 1 through 6, and then an E main all the way through a B main, and then the feature, of course. So we're going to wait for the qualifying session to end, and then we'll get an official word and see how many heats and main races that we have tonight. 10 laps for every heat race, 14 laps for an E-main if we do go through with the E-main race, 16 laps for a D-main, 18 for C-main, and 20 for a B-main race. So it looks like everybody's done. Qualifying ending earlier than scheduled, so I'm going to wait for the heat races to sort themselves out. Heat 5 and 6 have been skipped, and we'll be sticking with the E-main for the time being. So heat races 1 through 4, 10 laps, top 2 advance as per usual. So 8 drivers total will be advancing to tonight's feature race. 8 drivers for every single heat race by the looks of this, as we have Lewis Hewitt, Brett Wheeler, David Flick, Kevin Griff, Ryan Martin, Matt Dial, John Cutts, and Stephen E. Pierce, positions 1 through 8. So definitely confirmed that only 8 drivers will be participating in each heat race for the night. Waiting for the last 2 to grid up. Now just waiting for the 13. There he is. And we will be going out for 2 pace laps as per usual here at Knoxville. And we'll be saying who in the top 2 advance to tonight's feature. Just to remind you that this race is brought to you by, no, the series rather is brought to you by Evil One Graphics, Hammer Down TV, which is what is providing the beautiful coverage here, and of course VLR which is hosting a very special event on the 5th, Labor Day weekend, essentially, on a Wednesday over in Lima Land. $1,500 to win, and you can go ahead and I believe it is hdirl.com/labor-day-classic. We will be double checking that. But in the meantime, heat race number 1 is about to go underway. Pace truck gets the word from race control this time as his radio is finally working. Hewitt on the loud pedal, down and away. All the way already right behind him is going to be Brett Wheeler for that second place position. Third place is going to be Kevin Griff, and we'll be seeing if he can do anything to catch up. Look at Brett Wheeler all the way trying to get for the lead, and it won't work just yet. Already on top of the back bumper on the back straightaway was Kevin Griff for that second place transfer spot, second place position, if you will, and a bit of a wide entry by the 56, or low entry all the way sliding up to the top side. He's doing a great job to hang on to it though, as the 58 of Kevin Griff is breathing down that back wing as much as he can. For right now, Kevin Griff is just managing to stick with that 56 of Brett Wheeler. And almost makes contact entering turns 1 and 2. Goodness, that was closer than expected. But Kevin decided to just not even move an inch, just right up on top of that back bumper from that 56. And right now, probably trying to do a slipstream, if you will, if that does exist in dirt racing, as we have 5 laps completed and 5 laps remaining, less than 5 now. And it looks like that 58 will be waiting out the 56 of Wheeler for the time being. Maybe just putting a little bit of a notice on that 56, saying, hey, you know, I'm right here. But I don't think that'd be possible, as the 56 can't really have a mirror in winged sprint cars. But to the top side goes the 58. Still nothing yet. Not a lot of momentum, but still, look at that top line. Every time he enters turns 1 and 2, he's just right on top of that 56. Lap time comparison, well, roughly about 0.03, 0.04 seconds faster. It's going to be the 58. He looks to the inside of turn number 4, and he will finally make the move with 2 laps to go. All the while, Lewis Hewitt making the runaway for the lead. Crossover from that 56 of Wheeler to the inside. Preferred lane, maybe the 58. 56 going to see if he can do anything on that warning part of the racetrack. Outside preferred lane from the 58 with the white flag out for the 3 of Hewitt, battling side by side for second place. And the 56 got a little bit onto that curbing, which is pretty much just full of dirt. So unfortunately, that's going to push the 56 of Wheeler out and give that second place position to Kevin Griff, as both he and Lewis Hewitt will advance to tonight's feature. So heat race number 2 will be starting in just a few moments as everyone grids up. Positions 1 through 4, well, that holds the 005 of Braden Eiler, the 37 of Randall Carter. John M. Lepresto starts 3rd. 4th is Michael Sheridan. 5th through 8th is Matthew Williams, Terry Landis, Colin Penn, and Hunter Connelly. So the pace truck is just about getting ready to pull off. We may see Braden Eiler and Randall Carter in positions 1 and 2 once again for tonight. Pace truck pulls out to its safety of pit road, 2 extra laps, of course, and the 37 did not get going, surprisingly enough. So that's going to move John Lopresto up to second for the time being, and Randall Carter was essentially just caught sleeping on that main start. Well, looking to the inside, it's going to be Michael Sheridan on the 15, just a lane lower. Nothing done as of then, though, so he continues to look to that inside lane, and corners 1 and 2 almost makes contact, slides off to the inside, losing that momentum. And now that 37 of Carter is just looking on top of that back bumper of Lopresto right now for the time being, but looking to the outside with Sheridan. I think we can essentially call this a 3-car battle for second place as the 15 got to the high side. Now he'll have to check up as the 37 did a very small and subtle slide job on the 15 of Sheridan. Lopresto trying to hold off the 37. Doing an amazing job for the time being, so Carter may be choosing to wait and move when he thinks that move is best. And right now, well, let's just make contact with the back bumper once again. We've been seeing that a lot so far, and it's only the second heat race. But Carter looking about a half a lane lower than that 63 of Lopresto, trying to see if we can get grip just ever so slightly below those tires. Now a higher entry. Here comes the 15 of Sheridan to the inside, looking at the very least, and no momentum as of yet. Maybe he chose to let up. But 4 laps will be remaining as the 15 of Sheridan gets to the inside of the 37 of Carter. And no momentum once again. But he will be continuing to look to that inside as he's done throughout this heat race so far. Higher entry by Lopresto and almost makes contact. Goodness gracious, that 63 and 37 had a really close moment, but right now to the inside goes a 37. They make contact. This could be an opening for the 15. He goes to the outside. There goes Sheridan up to third now, as both of those drivers manage to hang on. Crossover to the inside goes Sheridan, trying to get to the inside of Lopresto. 2 laps to go at the line that time around. If that was for the finish, that would have been Sheridan, but to the inside with a crossover comes Lopresto. And the crossover again from the 15, final lap this time by one more shot at the very least, and Sheridan still gets to the inside. He still got that second place that time around. 37 of Carter tried to do a last ditch effort. Couldn't happen, unfortunately. No momentum. Lopresto looks to the inside. 15 allows a slide job. They make contact. Both into the outside wall. To the inside comes a 37 of Randall Carter. And Braden Eiler will come away with the win and advance. And so will Randall Carter. He will come away with the advance as well in the final 2 corners. Heat race number 3 will show Anthony Lopresto in the first place position. Tommy Rowe starts second. Third place, Devin Johnson. Fourth, Garrett N. Still cannot pronounce his last name correctly, unfortunately, but Tyler Reed will be starting fifth. Sixth will be Sean Bowers. And Michael Grobelny starts seventh, along with the 8th place position from Richard Swavely. I believe the correct way to pronounce that number 19's last name of Garrett is Garrett Niebrug. It's a very interesting last name to actually try and pronounce. But nonetheless, everyone is gridded up, aside from one driver, and I believe that's Matthew Grabel. Yeah, Matthew Grabelny's having some issues, so hopefully he will be able to make it back in time for at least one of the 4 main races that we have here tonight. Anthony Lepresto in the 157 will be bringing the field to the green for heat race number 3 of 4. Top 2, as always, advance. Same goes for heat race number 4 in just a few moments after this. Anthony Lepresto on the left pedal as the pace truck pulls through its safety of pit road. Tommy Rowe up in second, already getting attacked on the inside, but from Devin Johnson, they have to check up. Goodness gracious, Tommy Rowe really had to get on the binders, and the 32 gets the worst of it as he gets into the back bumper with the 40 of Rowe. Now to the outside comes the number 19 of Garrett, and he will fly by on that outside, almost completely clips himself on that number 83 of Devin Johnson, but fighting back on the outside as Devin fights on the inside. Garrett gets that huge run off the outside of corner number 2. So already pretty much settled out for second, but not so much third place. Contact, almost contact. 2 drivers. That's between the 32 and the 40. And they managed to hang on to a little bit of contact over in turns 3 and 4. Sort of sent Tommy Rowe a little bit squirrely, but he managed to hang on to it though. And alright, he's on the bad buck streak for this heat race as of right now. But Anthony Lepresto with currently a 1.5 second gap, and that is fluctuating between 1.4 seconds as of right now to roughly about 1.6 at maximum, now 1.7, 1.8 almost. But halfway for the 157, and the number 19 of Garrett N is doing an amazing job just sticking ahead of Devin Johnson for the time being, and he's about roughly a tenth faster. Just about 1,000, sorry, 1.002 seconds faster last time around, but now a tenth faster as they have swapped lap times to 17.2 for Devin Johnson, 17.3 for Garrett, and that is with 3 laps remaining this time by. As once again they swap lap times, 17.2 for Garrett, 17.3 for the number 83. So this time by Anthony Lepresto comes around to number 4, grabbing the white flag. He's already in a available transfer spot, so is the 19 of Garrett. Both of them exit turn number 2 just fine. Entering turn number 3 and 4 just fine. Anthony Lepresto comes off turn number 4, wins heat race number 3 and advances. And here comes the number 19 following suit. He's also across the line and advances to the feature. Heat race and final heat race, if you will, of number 4. The 710 of Stephen Calvoto starts first. The 717 of Scott Bellum starts in second. Only 0.03 seconds separate their qualifying times. Jeremy Zarfos starts third. Fourth, Dakota Cotton. Fifth is Dustin Helms. Sixth, Brad Hazard. Seventh is Andy Patton. And eighth place will be Michael Mulcahy. Coming through turns 3 and 4 where the pace truck will pull off to its safety of pit road. The 710 of Stephen Calavoda will bring the field to the green for the final heat race tonight. He's on the loud pedal and already side by side with a great inside jump. It's going to be Jeremy's off for a slide job. 3 drivers almost made contact simultaneously, and Dustin Helms threw it in there, trying to get up to whatever position they could, and already to first place now. It's going to be Jeremy Zarfos. Look at this crossover to the inside. Comes to the 710. Meanwhile, both drivers, however, are in line for a transfer. Look at Zarfos in the 51, though. He completely caught everybody off guard, I'm sure, with that, but Dustin Helms more than likely did, as he tried to dive it in there up to first. Didn't have the momentum, unfortunately. But right now, Zarfos is pretty much fine for the time being, as he's going to have to hold up that number 95 of Dakota Khan, and Dakota not a lot of momentum entering the corner. It was absolutely perfect. He got right to that back bumper. He's going to do it again in turns 3 and 4. Sorry, turns 1 and 2. Now they head to turns 3 and 4, and maybe we may be seeing the same thing. A lower line entry from that number 95. And a little bit of a lower exit as well, as that 51 gets very close to the outside wall, using that top lane as best as he can. But Stephen Calavoda in the 510, of course, in the lead. Battle for second, definitely going to be ongoing. 95 of Khan with a slide job up top. Zarfos gets into the back bumper of that number 95 in turns 3 and 4. Halfway this time by. Higher line entry from the number 51. Side by side, Zarfos on the top side, Khan on the inside. 51 versus 95, slide job attempt again. Could be a crossover from the 51. He does make it successful this time around. And to the inside, gets that second place position at the line off corner number 4. But of course, that's not the end of the race, the heat race, if you will, as of yet. Both of these drivers battling it out as much as they can. Zarfos gets into the outside wall after hitting the cushion, and that may be his chances done for the time being, at least of this heat race. He may have a shot in the main races, but right now he does not have a shot here for the moment. 2 laps to go at the start-finish line for the 710 and the 95 of Dakota Khan. So this time by, the 710 and the 95 will be taking the white flag. Lap times, well, 3/10 faster is the 51 of Zarfos. He's faster, 3/10 faster than the 95. Meanwhile, somebody's going to be sailing away with this win. It's going to be the 710. Stephen Calavoda comes off turn number 4 and wins heat race number 4, advancing, and so does the 95 Dakota Khan, as Jeremy Zarfos, unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but he will have another shot in one of the main races, the C-Main, which is coming up. Your top 4 will advance to the B-Main, and then the top 12 of the B-Main advance to the feature. So we will be having, I believe, 18 or 20 drivers in tonight's feature race. But first up, a very stacked C-Main, 14 cars to be exact. Tommy Rowe, Brad Hazard, row 1. Row number 2 is John Coots and Hunter Connelly. Row at number 3 holds the 5th place position of Sean Bowers and the 21 of Michael Mulcahy. Row number 4 has Matt Dial in 7th and Colin Penn, not Colin Pern. Apologies for that, Colin Penn in the 8th place position. Richard Swavely will be starting in 9th, and 10th is Andy Patton. Starting 11th is going to be Stephen Pierce. Terry Landis 12th, 13th Michael Grabelny, and then Dustin Helms starts 14th. C main race, 14 laps, top 4 advance to the B main, and pace truck pulls off. Green flag is out. Tommy Rowe and the loud pedal. John Cutts follow suit, along with Brad Hazard and Hunter Canelli. And here comes everybody else scrambling in to get to whatever position that they can. Top 4 is most notable. Somebody sideways off the corner. That's Matt Dye on the 107. Top 4 is Tommy Rowe, John Cutts, Brad Hazard, and Hunter Canelli. Pretty much the same as they started in this C main race. Remember, 14 laps. And then 16 laps in the B main, which is up next. Look at the top side. Tries to go to the top side as Canelli. Hazard shuts the door. And look at this. They're right on top of each other right now. Almost makes contact moving up to behind, and they do make contact. Brad Hazard goes around into the outside wall, more contact, and Canelli gets into the outside wall. He'll slip out of the top 4 for the time being. And again, he's into the inside wall ever so slightly, trying to gather it back up. But that means that third place is going to be Michael Mulcahy in the 21, and Colin Penn will battle for 4th right now, rather. And heavy into the inside wall in the background. That's Stephen Pierce in the 16. Just too much real estate, what seems to be happening, or too little real estate. Racing room as Canelli may have made contact, not sure 100% as of yet. But right now, your top 4 is all set as of right now, and your 4th place driver is the 52 of Colin Penn. Knocking on the door of the top 4, unintentional rhyme there, is going to be at the number 219. 7 laps, lap number 7 being worked on, 6 laps completed. And right now, Tommy Rowe, John Cutts, Michael Mulcahy all doing just absolutely fine. Halfway this time by, 7 laps complete, 7 to go. Slide job attempt from the 219. They both go into the outside wall. The 19 and the 52 and the 219 are now both out of this race. So that means Dustin Helms, he goes from 6th to 4th in the 09. So right now, a brewing battle for first place, or a possible battle for first place, rather. It's going to be between Tommy Rowe and John Cutts. Top 4 advance, so the 21 and the 09, they're fine. Of course, they do have more than enough gap just in time. Or to relax, I should say, for their positions. So Tommy Rowe going to have to defend against the 13 of John Cutts, who looks to the inside in turns 3 and 4. 2 laps to go this time by. Another brewing battle for 3rd place, as Dustin Helms looked to the inside in turns 3 and 4 as well. Oh, goodness. He manages to hang on to that, though. Gosh, his right rear tire barely made contact with the outside wall. So it's the final lap for Tommy Rowe, and maybe John Cutts if he can get up to the first place position. Side by side, expected off turn number 4, and it will not happen. Tommy Rowe comes home in first place. 2nd place, John Cutts. Both will advance along with Michael Mulcahy in 3rd. 4th place will be Dustin Helms. So now the final main race, and it's going to be quite interesting. Maybe a mad dash, maybe not, but we're going to see what plays out. Brett Wheeler starts first. Second place, Michael Sheridan. Devin Johnson third. Jeremy Zarfos fourth. He has another shot at advancing, and all he has to do is finish in the top 12. Ryan Martin starts in fifth. Sixth starts John Amalapresto. Tyler Reed starts seventh. Eighth will be Scott Bellum. Ninth, David Flick. 10th will be Matthew Williams. And then the top four from the C main race is Tommy Rowe, John Cutts, Michael Mulcahy, and Dustin Helms. 2 drivers will not advance from this race. If you finish in the top 12, well, you're fine. If you don't finish in the top 12, unfortunately, it is race over for you. And this will officially make up 20 drivers for your 40-lap feature race. So for the final main race, 16 laps, top 12 advance. Brett Wheeler will be bringing the field to the green. Pace truck off in pit road, and Brett Wheeler is down and away using that inside lane, diamonding, already creating a massive gap, and here comes everybody scrambling into turns 1 and 2, scrambling for position, and some of us may be keeping an eye on that number 51. He almost had it in one of the heat races, and unfortunately he didn't make it though. But right now he's doing such an amazing job. That was heat race number 4 as well. The Mad Dash is going to be mainly for position number 12, and as of right now that may be John Cutts that is in that position for the time being. And looking at this again, it's actually Michael Mulcahy who is in 12th, as everybody is scrambling for whatever spot or whatever line that they can run. As Tyler Reed, I think, has actually missed the grid. Not sure what happened, but he is running in front of the leaders. Sorry, the top side, I was looking at the wrong driver there for a moment, apologies. But nonetheless, the top 4 is going to be Brett Wheeler, Michael Sheridan, Ryan Martin, John Lepresto, and Jeremy Zarfos. Meanwhile, battle for the position of 6th, the 6th place position between 20 of David Flick and the 013 of Matthew Williams. Matthew Williams to the inside. Again, this is for 7th place. He is fine. Dustin Helms currently in line to advance, as he is in the 12th place position. David Flick trying to hang on to his 6th place position, but right now Matthew Williams will not be having any of it as he's trying to get to the inside. Now he uses the top side. Now the action around the track has settled out, so Devin Johnson in 13th is on the outside looking in, but Dustin Helms is not too far in front of him, just a few car lengths to about 10-20 car lengths in front of him. And look at Devin Johnson, he'll slide it into the corner. Maybe it's trying to attempt to slide drop, he was too far back, so he was in 12th place for a moment on live scoring, but at the start-finish line he still is in 13th. Halfway this time by for the 54 of Brett Wheeler, however. And he is under fire from the 15 of Michael Sheridan as he looked to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Couldn't find anything there, unfortunately, and Brett Wheeler just created a massive gap as if that hasn't even happened. Four laps to go at the start-finish line this time around for the 56 of Wheeler. Sheridan is in second. Martin in the 024 third. Fourth place, John Lepresto. Fifth is Zarfos. Sixth is David Flick. As positions may be changing sometime. See Matthew Williams in the 013 as in seventh. Eighth will be Tommy Rowe in the 40. Ninth is 717 of Scott Bellum. The 21 of Michael Mulcahy in 10th, 11th John Coots, and 12th is Dustin Helms with Devin Johnson in 13th, still on the outside looking in, 3 laps to go at the start-finish line. I'm seeing the last lap being traded back and forth on the my scoring over here multiple times. Fastest lap currently set by Michael Sheridan with a 17.357. And nobody has broken that just yet except himself. The 17.354, just 3 thousandths of a second faster. And 1/10 faster than Brett Wheeler. But right now the white flag is out, so one more shot for Michael Sheridan to try and get up to the first place position. Devin Johnson in 13th. He tried to look for that 12th place position. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen, so Brett Wheeler comes home in first. Second is Michael Sheridan, Ryan Martin, John Lepresto, Jeremy Zarfos, David Flick, Matthew Williams, Tommy Rowe, Scott Bellum, Michael Mulcahy, John Coops, and Dustin Holmes. First through 12th will all advance to tonight's 40-lap feature. So now 2 minutes of warm-up. We will be using this opportunity to head through the entire 20-car starting grid. So starting in first will be Lewis Hewitt, Braden Eiler, second, third place, Anthony Lepresto. Fourth will be Stephen Calavota. Fifth, that's going to be Kevin Griff. Starting in sixth will be Randall Carter. Garrett N starts in seventh. Eighth is Dakota Khan. And then ninth, starting your B-main finishers. In ninth will be Brett Wheeler. Michael Sheridan in 10th. 11th, Ryan Martin. 12th will be John M. Lepresto. So both the Leprestos will be in this race tonight. 13th is Jeremy Zarfos. 14th, David Flick. 15th, Matthew Williams. 16th is Tommy Rowe. 17th, Scott Bellum. 18th, Michael Mulcahy. 19th, John Cutts. And 20th is Dustin Helms, running at your 20-car starting grid. 40-lap feature here tonight, just as a reminder, and of course the 200 laps are for an accommodation if we do get any cautions. So caution laps do not count essentially here in the 360 Winged Sprint Car Series. Once again, this is brought to you by Evil One Graphics, VLR, and Hammer Down TV. And of course, if you are interested in the Labor Day Classic on September 5th, head to hdIRL.com/labor-day-classic. And by hyphen dash, whatever you want to refer to it as, that's what you put in between. So hdIRL.com apologies for that, Labor Day. Keep forgetting the / hdIRL.com/ labor-day-classic, or hyphen. Either way, it is very exciting. $1,500 to win. And that is in the Super Late Models, I believe, over in Lima Land. Warm-up is over. Everyone is starting to get onto the grid. Remember, 40 laps. Caution laps will not count, so I believe when the cautions come, I believe the session information will be put up just to give everyone an idea of what lap we are on, as we have caution laps counted versus our actual laps that we have run. So a little bit of math involved to figure out what lap we are on, either on the restart or at the time. All 20 drivers about to begin the 40 lap feature here at Knoxville. It's going to be very, very exciting. Even through the complications that we've had earlier, it's like it never even happened, because these drivers persevere through apparently everything that is thrown their way, even the pace truck that refuses to pull off. But we are here and ready. Everyone eager to get this second race underway. Pace car, pace truck, safety vehicle about ready to pull off into its safety and pit road. The field will be in control of the number 3 of Lewis Hewitt in just a few months. Pace truck pulls off. 3 of Hewitt waits a little bit. Now he's on the lapel. Green flag is out for the second race here in the 360 winged sprint cars, and everyone's scrambling behind. Battle for second is very staggered for a wide. 3 wide for a moment in the back. Kevin Griffin, the 58, goes up and over multiple times. And I believe we will be restarting for lap number 1. Or lap 0. Because I'm not sure as of right now if it's either by laps completed or what lap we are on. But assuming that is by laps that we are on, we will be restarting on lap number 2. So lap number 2 is the second lap. Or it's the lap that will occur when we cross the start-finish line. Because of the caution, however, to bring that out, of course, looks like the 37 just made a little bit of contact. That was Randall Carter, unfortunately. Just one of those racing deals here on dirt. It's so crowded, everyone's running a separate line, and it looks like actually the 58 of Kevin just came up just a bit too early and then completely, unfortunately, turned himself, by mistake, of course, on the front end, called it himself a bit too early, but of course that is the case here. That everything changes when you least expect it here for dirt racing. Pace truck lights are out, and the 200 laps actually once again are for accommodation for cautions. So caution laps don't count, and I believe we will be restarting for lap number 1. So this time by when they cross the line, it will be lap number 2. So this is a 40 lap main event, 200 laps to accommodate for the no caution laps counting. Green flag is out. Green is back in the air, and Lewis Hewitt back on the lapel. Braden Eiler completely following suit as close as he can. At the very least, Anthony LaPresta on the 157. Along with Steven Calavoda trying to hold up the 37 of Randall Carter for that 4th place position. In the back, somebody's in the outside wall. That's the 19 of Garrett N. He does manage to hang on to it, however, though. And he will be doing just fine with no major issues. Battle for 4th is still ongoing. between the 37 and the 710. Now for second now, Anthony Lepresto to the inside, a very massive slide job, crossover from the 005. Called that before that even happened. And there goes the 005 to the inside, and slide job return, crossover return from the 157. I'm starting to see a pattern here between these two as they swap positions and across the line. It counts as a swapped position, as now we should be, I believe, on lap number 6. Maybe a little bit incorrect there, but nonetheless, still going strong are all these drivers. Somebody's off sideways over in turns 3 and 4. That's the 51 of Jeremy Zarfos. Again, he gets hit ways upside down. And again, more contact. What to be the cause of that actually was the 95 of Dakota Kun. Took the high side, got a bit of the cushion, grabbed him, threw him into the outside wall. He tried to get out of it. He did. But unfortunately, it was right in front of the path of that 51 of Jeremy Zarfos. So doing a little bit of some rough calculations here. We've been, essentially for dirt racing, it's 3 pace laps. So 3 pace laps, 1 for the field to catch up, 1 forward, 2 laps to green. And this time by expecting it to be a 2 laps to green. Pace truck crosses the line, and it is 2 laps to green. So we had two cautions, which is essentially 6 laps total. So we've unofficially run 13 laps. So we are on lap 7. So we should be heading to lap number 8 by the time we cross the start-finish line for the restart here in just a few moments' time. Pace truck pulls off to its safety of pit road. No diamond here at this track, as opposed to Williams Grove, but nonetheless, everyone back on the lap pedal attack for third place as we are on lap number 8 right now. 3 wide for a moment for position number 3, now 2 wide as the 56 of Wheeler gets over to the inside. Closing in on 30 laps to go here, and just a couple of laps as Lewis Hewitt is in control of the field. Anthony Lepresto up in second. Third place, Braden Alla trying to hold off the 56 of Brett Wheeler. Battling side by side for, looks like 6th place, will be Randall Carter in the 37 and the 15 of Michael Sheridan. And coming out on top of that battle will be the number 37. Hello, the 024 makes a little bit of contact on the top of the back bumper. Goodness gracious, 30 laps to go this time by. Of course, it is a rough estimate, but it should be 30 to go this time around. Battle for first, it's going to be on Brewing as the 157 really up on top of that cushion. Goodness gracious, that's going to really... That was pretty close for that 157. You almost made contact with that guardrail with the outside wall. But a little bit of a letdown comparison. Well, essentially 0.02 seconds faster, 0.01 second faster was Lewis Hewitt the last time around. This time by, as they cross the start-finish line, 0.04 seconds faster as we have 28 laps to go this time by. Brett Wheeler on the inside, trying to get some momentum to catch up to Braden Eiler, but no luck as of right now. But he's still using that inside line. He has trust in that inside lane as Braden uses the top side to his advantage. "26 laps to go this time by." Laps, of course, quickly winding down. Anthony Lepresto breathing down the back wing. There he goes to the inside for the lead. Lewis lets him by. Crossover from the number 3, and like it never even happened. Well, almost a single file there for a moment. Hewitt goes to the top side with 25 laps to go, closing in on halfway. Look at that gap, and that's where we'll stay as the caution is out. Looking around for what the cause of the caution is for, and not seeing anything, and found it. It looks like it was from the 21 of Michael Mulcahy. Coming off to number 2, lost a lot of grip and completely slammed it into the inside wall. Somebody who came flying by, that was Dustin Helms, and the 21 could not get it back going, unfortunately. That is the cause of the caution. So when we go green, we will have, well, when the caution came out, we had 25 laps remaining, so I believe we will have 24 laps remaining when we take the green flag. Pace truck going to come across the start-finish line, and the lights will indeed shut off this time around. "24 laps to go when we get the green flag this time around." And looking at the unofficial laps, we are correct. So green flag is out. 24 laps to go this time by, closing in on halfway. And the move was attempted by the 56 of Brett Wheeler. Couldn't get it done. He's almost the only driver on the inside. Very few drivers having very split decisions. Braden Eiler really sideways, trying to get it back going and back under control as we have 22 laps to go. And Brett Wheeler's in the wall. Braden Eiler in the wall. Somebody's around. That was with 23 laps remaining. That is the 15 of Michael Sheridan. And heavily damages that steering on the 15. So 22 laps will remain when we go back green. Pace truck lights are off. And we are ready and waiting for the green flag. 22 laps will remain once we hit that green flag signal. Pace truck pulls off. Lewis Hewitt still in control of the field. Green is out, and we are underway once again. Anthony Lepresto still second. Brett Wheeler looks to the inside. And nothing doing as of yet for that second place position. Great job to retain that top three. Randall Carter holding off two drivers, the 710 and the 024, as they both battle for their own respective position. Of that fifth place position, now at 710, Stephen Calavoda. He looks for that position on Robert, but it will not work. Three-car battle for fourth place now. I believe we will have 20 laps to go this time by, maybe halfway. And looking up on the top side is going to be Anthony Lepresto for the lead. No momentum there. Well, he did have a lot of momentum. He just couldn't get it done in time, unfortunately. But he'll go to the inside now this time around. And if we do get another caution, I will update everybody on how many laps we have remaining if we do get another caution. Lewis Hewitt now using the low side instead of the top side. So both opposites now. Two drivers using the inside lane. Brett Wheeler is the second driver using that inside lane. Not a lot of momentum on the exit, however. Hewitt will be sliding up to the top side as per usual. Back to the inside now. Essentially using a diamond on the entire racetrack, but that will not help him. He's a little slow after number two. And Lepresto comes over to the top side, trying to get by, and he will get alongside him, by him at the start-finish line, ever so slightly, but he gets him back in turns 1 and 2. Back to the inside goes Lepresto. That's by 9,000ths of a second as they almost make contact on the back straightaway. Lepresto throws it into turns 3 and 4. Slideways he goes, and still side by side turn number 4 once again. And that time Lewis Hewitt was still second. And slide job attempt again off turn number 2. That was by 0.029 seconds. What's that gap at the line? They almost made contact again. Coming off of the corner. Coming off turn number 4 goes Lewis Hewitt, and to the outside, Anthony Lepresto, both still using the similar lane. Brett Wheeler just watching in the background in case something does happen. Still on top of that bank bumper is going to be the 157. Trying to do whatever he can. Anthony Lepresto trying to get up to that first place position, but for the time being, it is not going to work out for the time being. Still trying to find that momentum and get by and stay ahead of that number 3 is impossible for Lepresto. Gets on top of the back bumper, bump draft coming off of turn number 2. And that may backfire ever so slightly, because that 157 got a little piece of the outside wall, I believe, or the cushion, but he is doing A-okay as if it hasn't even happened yet. Still running opposite lanes, both for the 3 and the 157. Lewis Hewitt into the outside wall goes Lewis Hewitt. He's going to lose the race lead. Tried to move high to accommodate for Michael Moke on the bottom side to make sure he wasn't going to make any contact. But that means Anthony Lepresto now is in the lead. And unfortunately, I have no idea how many laps are remaining. But more than likely at this point, it'll be under 10 laps remaining. Or just close to about 10 laps remaining. And Anthony Lepresto is in the lead with a very massive gap of about 1 second. Well, The gap looks a lot bigger than it seems. And look at Lewis here. He still manages to catch up, barely closing the gap. And the lap times are severely different the last time around. 18.2 versus 17.6. We'll see what they are this time around. Lepresto has a 17.7. 17.6 from Lewis Hewitt. Hewitt is still somehow faster, but no doubt with just a few laps remaining, as a rough estimate at the very least, Anthony Lepresto could be coming away with this win. Once the caution is thrown, we will let you know if the caution is thrown by race control. That is to signal the end of the race, as unfortunately Iracing has not yet accommodated for caution races that do not count caution laps. I'm definitely looking forward to that, though, because things like this, with all this excitement as Hewitt still tries to get up behind to the back bumper of the 157, excitement like this makes me lose track, and I just don't even care anymore. Sometimes I want this race to go on forever. I'm pretty sure Lewis Hewitt does. He may want about 5 extra laps, as he will still come across the start-finish line. Roughly equal lap times, both drivers have the zone of a 17.6. Hewitt with a 17.61, a 0.64 for that 157 of Lepresto. Across the start-finish line once again, 17.585 versus 17.582. 3 thousandths faster last time around was Hewitt. Off turn number 4, possibly for the white flag, and nothing as of yet. More than likely, with probably about 5 laps to go, Hewitt into the outside wall again. Caution not thrown as Hewitt manages to get back going, but that completely eliminates any chance of Hewitt, unfortunately, getting a first place finish. Now this gives a chance, though, for Brett Wheeler to advance his position. He did start in the 9th place position. He was 6 positions up from where he started. Meanwhile, for Anthony Lepresto, he's doing an amazing job just managing to hang on to it. Managing to use that top side, and he will be taking the middle lane now, the lower line. This could be the checkered flag, waiting for any caution from race control. No call yet. Race still continues on, as we have not reached the point of the race finish as of yet. I believe, though, this time by should be maybe at 39 laps complete. Just maybe. Somehow Lewis Hewitt is still managing to catch up. Look at this. Hewitt 2/10 faster the last time around. It scratched the entire second faster. Anthony Lepresto is laying off, actually. Is he low on fuel? Not sure if Lepresto is low on fuel or not, but he laid off a little bit. And Lewis Hewitt still running those 17.6 second lap times after getting into the outside wall twice. And that's the fastest driver on the track right now. Not the fastest lap, just the fastest time. A 17.621 from Hewitt. 17.626 again. Last time around, Hewitt still the fastest driver on the track. Caution is out. That's from a wreck. So that may not be the end of the race as of right now. Wait, was that Lepresto, though? That may have been Lepresto. Or that was the end of the race. Not sure. Lepresto may have run out of fuel. Not sure as of yet. Looks like the race is not over, as Lepresto may have actually run out of fuel, so Hewitt is back in the lead. So we're going to be confirming a little bit of a double check with how many laps to go on green that we have, as the pace truck lights are off this time around. So unfortunately, I believe Anthony Lepresto, that may be the reason why he was letting up, is that he was running low on fuel, so unfortunately he didn't fuel it enough to make it to the end of the race. So this time by, pace truck pulls off. Not sure how many laps remain as of yet, but green flag is out nonetheless. Lewis Hewitt in first, second Brett Wheeler, Randall Carter third. Still single file. Coming off turn number 4 will be the 3 of Hewitt, as he's been in control for most of this race. Amazing battle between he and Lepresto. -2 laps, -1 lap, I believe, actually, from our restart that we have had. Right now, these top 3 are pretty much just right up on each other right now, trying to find whatever line to use, and right now that line seems to be the inside lane, and Carter is just all over that back bumper of that number 56. And that is the end of the race. So your final standings, Lewis Hewitt, Brett Wheeler, and Randall Carter are your top 3. I'll see if we can get an interview with them each by the end of the standings rundown. 4th place is Dakota Kunn, David Flick 6th. 7th place will be John Cutts. 8th is Braden Eiler. 9th, Scott Bellum. And finishing in 10th place is Tommy Rowe. I believe David Flick actually from 14th to 5th. Not a bad run at all, neither for Scott Bellum. 17th to 9th. Finishing 11th is going to be John Lepresto. And unfortunately, the drivers that almost didn't finish are 11th through 20th. Michael Mulcahy finishes in 12th. 13th, Anthony Lepresto. 14th is Matthew Williams. 15th, Michael Sheridan. 16th, Dustin Williams. Stephen Calavoda finishes 17th. 18th, Garrett N. 19th, Kevin Griff. And finishing in 20th, unfortunately, is Jeremy Zarfos, after getting completely tumbled around in the few opening laps that we have had in the first caution. So first up in our interview here in just a few moments will be Randall Carter. And we'll bring the 3rd place finisher here. We'll get him on the radio and so what he has to say about his 3rd place finish here in just a few moments' time.
User was moved.
Randall Carter, do you have a copy on us?
How you guys doing?
Well, doing great. As even after those complications from earlier on, you managed to finish in the 3rd place position here tonight after starting in 6th. Not too bad of a run, but anything that you can tell us about the track state comparing your Heat 4 versus the feature race, because at B main, then those multiple cars must have definitely changed it a little bit.
Yeah. The first server was like a tenth quicker, and you could just seemed like my car hooked up better. I was a little faster on there. This server, the track was a whole lot tackier, and I guess a little bit more wetter, and it was a tenth slower. I didn't qualify as good as I did in the first server.
Nonetheless, though, you did manage to pull off a top 3 finish, however, so essentially you did do a amazing job at pulling that off compared to the first session that we have had up. So before we let you go, anything that you would like to, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or thank for your 3rd place finish here tonight?
Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank Team VLR and David Heilman for the setup.
We also like to thank you for putting on an awesome show for us here tonight. Congratulations again, Randall Carter, on your third place finish.
User was moved.
So that was the number 37 of Randall Carter. Second place of Brett Wheeler is here with us now, 9th to 2nd. Held off a lot of drivers right behind him, especially in those closing laps. Brett, do you have us?
Yeah, I got a copy.
It's good to have you up in second place, and good news for you is that according to the standings from at least last week, you should be first place in the point standings after this race. So good job on that. But for this entire race, you also participate. Well, you actually participate over in Heat 2. And I believe, actually, no, scratch that, Heat 1. So, no doubt, how's that truck state comparing from Heat 1 to the B main, and also comparing that to the feature?
Heat 1 was fairly tacky. There was a slick line in the bottom of both ends of the racetrack, so you had to run sort of through the middle to be fast. In the heat, I was absolutely junk. I had the wrong gearing in. So then, B main, we started on pole, and we led all 16 laps there, and the plan was to run the feature. We planned to do what we did last week and just roll the bottom, and we did that for 50 laps, and we come away one spot better than what we did last week.
Yeah, absolutely an amazing job as well. So congratulations on persevering through that and getting that second place finish, also advancing to first in the points, at least unofficially. That's just from what I'm seeing. So, of course, we'd all have to wait until the points have been updated. But either way, though, you managed to hold off a fair number of drivers and managed to pull off another podium finish. So, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for tonight?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Hammer Down for putting on these league events. All the admins that able to put through all the drivers whinging and whining each week. I was one of them tonight, but stuck around. It's it's nice to come to a league and be able to run up front. Of course, everyone here at Hammerdown and Hammerdown TV, everyone does a fantastic job. Well done to Lewis on the win. Australia 1-2, we'll take that. But teammates at UW Motorsports, Wicked Cushion, Colby's iPanes, Next Gen Fab, and of course Ultimate Dirt TV as well.
Well, we'd like to thank you as well for helping us see this amazing show that you and 19 other drivers have put on here tonight. Congratulations again for your second place finish.
Thank you very much.
User was moved out of your channel.
And finally, the race winner, Lewis Hewitt, the number 3, comes home in position number 1 after finishing in the first place position in heat number 1. Of course, we also asked Brett the same question, but from your view, what did you think about the track state compared to from heat 1 versus the feature?
It was a lot more slick, and it got quite rough here as well. Actually, I think down the back straight, it's hard to keep the car in a straight line with the front end jumping off the ground. But yeah, made the racing interesting, I think.
Yeah, it was quite exciting, especially with you and Lepresto swapping positions and swapping lines, crossovers essentially all over the racetrack. Unfortunately, I believe he ran out of fuel. Not sure what happened to him, but both of you were putting on a very, very exciting show.
I felt like I had a really good race with Anthony there. He threw a couple sliders on me. I got back underneath, and then I think I got to a little gap out in front, and I managed to put it into the wall, and then he got a big lead on me, and I think he was going to run away with this race, but he ran out of fuel there with about 5 to go, unfortunately, and I just made it as well. I ran out over the line.
Yeah, so congratulations on that, but before we let you go, anyone that you'd like to thank for your first place finish here tonight?
Just like to thank TTL Esports for all their help and support, helping me race, and along with our sponsors being Ash Media, Ultimate Dirt TV, Down Under Graphics, Tie Designs, and Hyper Stimulators.
Well, congratulations once again on your first place finish, and thank you for having you and 19 other drivers put on an amazing show for us here tonight.
Thank you very much for hosting it and broadcasting.
User was moved.
So that was the race winner of Lewis Hewitt. But before we go off, again, we'd like to thank you, everybody, for watching. Evil One Graphics and VLR for sponsoring the race. Don't forget VLR on September 5th, the Labor Day Classic. $1,500 to win. HDIRL.com/labor-day-classic. And you can see more information there. I have been Gary Weaver, and we thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.